Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I think we're going to begin with our welcome song, whoever you are, and we're going to use our recorded version, so feel free to sing along. Oops. Or will we? Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. And thanks to Lynn for recording that for us. Good morning, everyone. I am Megan Rancier, and I will be presenting today's service. Tina Jones and Lisa Merrill Price and Kayla are providing technical assistance today, so thank you to them. Please be aware we are recording this service and it will be posted on our YouTube page, but for privacy, we do not record during joys and concerns. Also, we save our announcements for the end of service after extinguishing our chalice. And it might not look like we have a lot of people here today, but I just want to point out we have way more chairs in the room than we usually do. So don't let that fool you. But, and also thank you to, well, there will be time for that later, but I will just say thank you to the people who set up the chairs today because they weren't here a day ago, for the blood drive we had. Okay. Here we go. We joined together this morning to seek justice, equality, and fairness in the world. Our hearts are touched by the human need we feel around us, whether far away or within reach of our hands. We come here to be together because this is how we believe our lives are best lived, in questioning and in conversation, in compassion and in service, in gratitude and in joy, in companionship and in love. It is good to be together with you this morning. For those of you who are new to us, please note we are a diverse group with a wide variety of interests and beliefs, and our services are varied in format, tone, and topic. We encourage you to attend or view several services to gain a good understanding of our congregation. And if you want to start receiving our weekly email of MVUUC news, please write your contact information on the blue information card. Could somebody hold up one of the blue information cards in the seat back pockets? There's one. Yep, there's another one. There's a third one. All right, so that is the blue information card that you can fill out and leave in the box on the greeting table in the front entrance, okay? So please take a minute to greet your neighbors, either in person or if you're on Zoom, greet in the chat box. Let's take a little bit to say hello. So our chalice will be lit today by Anne Gill. Am I saying your last name right? Okay, awesome. So please join me in reading the words provided for the lighting of the chalice, written by Reverend Monica Jacobson Tennyson. As we light this chalice, we say, welcome to your joy, your hope, your pride. We say, welcome to your grief, your fear, your anger, and the parts of you that are not yet ready to be seen and heard. Welcome to them as well. Thank you, Anne. So now we'll have a story for all ages selected by Tina Jones. Today's story is called You Matter, written and illustrated by Christian Robinson. This story was created by the author to remind everyone that they matter. This is an expression of love for the world and the creatures, big and small, that are in it. Oh, nice.
My name is Christian Robinson. I'm an author and illustrator of picture books. Welcome to Storytime. For me, it's so important to just create pictures that are inclusive and represent as many different types of people as possible. So to see this space that is made accessible to as many different people as possible means everything. Today, I want to share a story with you all titled You Matter. I illustrated this book because I wasn't sure if everyone was receiving that message. I was even hearing those words that they or their life mattered. And so I wanted to show them that it does, and not for the reasons that you might think. You don't matter simply because of how good your grades are or how many trophies you've won. You matter simply because you're here, because you exist. The small stuff, too small to see. Have you ever looked under a microscope before and seen teeny tiny little things moving around? Those who swim with the tide and those who don't. The first to go and the last, you matter. When everyone thinks you're a pest, when something is just out of reach, when everyone is too busy to help, you matter. Can you see why all these dinosaurs are so busy? Where are they running from? Where are they going? If you fall down, if you have to start all over again, even if you're really gassy, did you know the sun is really gassy? It's like this big ball of gas burning billions of miles, millions of miles away? Who knows? Anyhow, you matter. Sometimes home is far away. We see this astronaut and she's looking down at her home. It's your home too, right? Planet Earth. And she has something in her hand. Can you see what it is? It's like a little photo, a picture. Sometimes someone you love says goodbye. Has that ever happened to you? Someone you cared about had to go or leave and you say goodbye? Yeah. Sometimes you feel lost and alone. And look, we're in a busy city, and sometimes it can feel really loud, and you see all these cars and people, and here's a little dog who's lost. But you matter. Old and young, and look, the dog is back with its owner. And also in this picture, it says old and young, right? We see some old guys here feeding the birds, but this is a really big tree, and trees get really old. The bigger they get, some trees I think can live to be hundreds, maybe thousands of years old. The first to go and the last. The small stuff, too small to see. You matter. Thank you all for sharing in story time with me today. Just remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Creativity is your friend. And if you haven't heard it from anyone today, you matter.
Thanks to Tina for choosing that story for us. Yeah. And are the kids staying with us today, or should we play them out? Oh, that's right. Yep, sorry, I'm all out of order. So now is the time for the sharing of joys, concerns, and milestones. Tina, please stop the recording of the service at this time. And Tina, please begin recording again. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna sing our first song today with the kids. This is a favorite called Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. If you want to follow along in your gray hymnal, it's hymn number 361, but we'll also have the words up here on the slide. So Lisa, take it away. And now we will sing the kids out. How about we start on this note? Ah, go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Oh, I'm proud of us. We didn't need accompaniment or anything. We know that. Awesome. So today's opening words are called Love's Many Shapes by Reverend Scott Taylor. In this space, carved out by our quiet connection, we give thanks for the many forms of love that have formed us. The love of family that brings us into being, allows us to bloom, and then sends us on our way with the reminder that we can return no matter what. The love of partnered hearts that teach us to trust and help us to know that who we are does not end at the barrier of our own skin. The love of friends who help us to feel seen and sing our song back to us when we cannot hear it with our ears alone. The love of community that bathes us in belonging and calls us to see the needs of others as our own. And the greatest love, the love that will not let us go, even in our fear, even in our failure, even when we are lonely or lost. Love invites us home, friends. If we listen, it is doing so even today. So today's reflection comes from an editorial from the June 2019 issue of UU World. A couple issues are available out there by the greeting table, it's titled An Essential Spiritual and Moral Value. And it was written by Reverend Susan Frederick Gray. She was the most recent president of the UUA before our current president of the UUA was elected. So this is her reflection, an essential spiritual and moral value. When my son was just 2 years old, I found him bringing all his stuffed animals into the shower. When I asked what he was up to, he answered, "It's shower church." I smiled and asked, "Oh yeah? What's happening in shower church?" He told me he would be preaching. When I asked what he was preaching about, he answered simply, "Love, Mommy. It's always love." There's an old saying that even the best preachers have only 1 or 2 sermons. We just keep finding new ways to share them. In that moment, I thought my son clearly figured out mine. Love is a core foundation of my religious understanding, but it is not a love that is simply an emotion, a feeling, or an expression of the bonds of loyalty felt within a group. In personal relationships, when we love someone, we wish for them the fullest unfolding and development of who they are. We wish for them freedom, safety, joy, and life. Love as a religious practice extends our compassion, solidarity, and care beyond the personal to seeking the liberation and wholeness of every person. It reminds us of our fundamental interdependence with all of life. It is this understanding of love that formed one of the most precious gifts Unitarian Universalism has given me. In the gift of a religion that teaches that the work of justice is inseparable from a faith rooted in love. This understanding that love and justice are inseparable was nurtured by my UU atheist and activist mom, who told me as a young child she did not believe in God. But if she did, she would believe God is love. It was reinforced by the stories and theology of Unitarian Universalism that no one is outside the circle of love. Each Sunday, reciting the covenant beginning with the words, "Love is the doctrine of this congregation," I was and am reminded that love is the core teaching and practice of what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist. This is why it can be so painful, even faith-shaking, when our institutions or our leaders fall short of that love, where we reinforce domination, exclusion, or oppression, when we act as a mask instead of a mirror for our freest, fullest selves. To be a faith of action with love as our doctrine doesn't mean we live it perfectly, but it does mean we are called again and again to learn, to make amends, to restore relationship, to choose love. I am especially mindful of the inseparable relationship between love and justice in this time, where we need to strengthen our work for justice and human rights. Too often, I hear people say, we need more focus on spirituality, not justice. Or, we need more focus on justice and less on spirituality. And yet, to divide the two is to weaken both. In 2000, the Black feminist writer and scholar Bell Hooks wrote, "I feel our nation's turning away from love, moving into a wilderness of spirit so intense we may never find our way home again. I write of love to bear witness both to the danger in this movement and to call for a return to love." These words echo in my mind when I think of the challenges before us, I know amongst all the injustices, the issues are not just political, partisan, or economic. On a fundamental level, they are spiritual challenges, and they reflect the way we have come as a society to denigrate the value of love and compassion as an essential spiritual and moral value. In response, as we work more actively and effectively for justice, may we equally tend to the teachings and practices that nurture our very humanity, our capacity for love, because that is where our desire for justice emerges. And if our justice work does not emerge from the moral and spiritual value of love, in the end, it will reinforce practices of domination and violence, just in new forms. To be a Unitarian Universalist in the context of a pained and unjust world is to be moved by a love that recognizes and honors our interdependence. It is my hope we do not turn away from responding to these times with our faith, our worship, and our ways of nurturing community. May all of these offer us deeper spiritual practices that cultivate the sustenance we need to be a powerful, faithful force of love and justice. Yours in love, Susan Frederick Gray. So with that reflection as an inspiration, let's meditate on that through song. Our next musical selection is hymn number 131, called Love Will Guide Us. You can follow along in your gray hymnal, hymn number 131, or just follow along on the screen. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us, we'll lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us, we'll lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. So now we'll do a brief UU principles connection. Sometimes this is sort of embedded in the reflection itself, and sometimes it's separate. Today it's a little separate. Because I wanted to remind everyone, and I know for some people this is not a reminder, it might be the first time you're hearing about this, is the core principles of Unitarian Universalism and sort of the new revised version of those core principles that was just approved this past June at the National Unitarian Universalist General Assembly. And this is the image that the UUA is using to sort of represent this new configuration of our principles. And as you can see, love is at the center, right? So, in the final proposed revision to Article 2, which contains our core Unitarian Universalist principles, it says this: as Unitarian Universalists, we covenant, congregation to congregation and through our association, to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Inseparable from one another, these shared values are interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence. With reverence for the great web of life and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. Pluralism, which is a difficult word to say, but it's really important. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. Justice. We work to be a diverse, multicultural, beloved community where all people thrive. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. And equity. We declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. Now, there was a challenge when this revision first came out to come up with an acronym for these new for these new values, these new principle keywords, let's call them. The best one that I think I've come across is PIGJET, which is not great, but it's the best we have. PIGJET, of course, does not include the central principle of love, so that ups the ante, makes it more challenging. So I challenge you to find or devise a great acronym for this. Okay, so here's another question that has come up, and since we're talking about love today, and we have love at the center of our values, it's important that we ask this key question, and it did come up during the revision process. What do you mean by love? Right? What kind of love are we talking about here? And here's the answer from the Unitarian Universalist Association. They said, we mean the type of love known as agape. Have you, any of you heard that word before? Agape, yeah. So it's an ancient Greek word. It's typically used in Christian context, but this is also transferring over to the UU understanding of agape. It is the selfless love of the neighbor, the friend, and even the enemy. It asks for nothing in return. More than a noun, love is a verb. It is creating justice. It is transforming our world. It is being generous of our spirit and resources. It is knowing we are all interdependent. It is upholding everyone's dignity and worthiness. It is celebrating our many differences. It is deeds, not creeds. Deeds, not creeds. So I want to wrap up this principles connection by just asking the question, how do we as a congregation show love? How do we show the love of this faith tradition, both between us as individual members of the congregation, and how do we show love as a congregation to the greater community? And I think yesterday was a perfect example of that, actually, because we were making real change in the world, providing blood to people who will need it, like literally saving lives, right, is a great way to show love. But also, showing love to the LGBTQ plus community, showing support, showing participation is another amazing way to show community support. And So, I mean, I have to say, I think we do a good job of showing love as a congregation. We can always do more, but I think that we can feel good about that, especially for such a small group, that we are able to show this value of love in the community, and it's something that we should continue to strive for, right? On the note of interpersonal relationships, right, and building those relationships, I actually have an activity for us to do. Not right now, but if you are so moved after service today, I have a table set up in the social hall where you can write a postcard to somebody that maybe you haven't seen at MVUUC in a while. Or if you really feel moved, you can write a postcard to whoever you want. We have postcards out there, we have stamps out there, and we have the MVUUC directory, so you can find somebody if you want to write to them. And that's another way that we can just show each other, hey, I'm thinking about you, I care about you, I want to know how you're doing. And we do that every time we have service, when we devote that time to like, hey, talk to your neighbor, check in with them, right? And that's how we show love. It's small, but it's important. So that's it from me. Thank you for your attention. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna quickly pass our offertory basket. All donations are gratefully welcomed, and if you do automatic pledge payments, you can put one of the laminated cards into the basket to support, to indicate this support. And very importantly, if you want your contribution to count toward your annual pledge, please put it in an envelope and write your name on the envelope so that we can credit you. Thank you. Thank you, Kayla. All right, that was perfect timing with the music, by the way. Our closing words today are from Valerie Cower. Love is more than a feeling. Love is a form of sweet labor, fierce, bloody, imperfect, and life-giving, a choice we make over and over again. If love is sweet labor, love can be taught, modeled, and practiced. This labor engages all our emotions. Joy is the gift of love. Grief is the price of love. Anger protects that which is loved. And when we think we have reached our limit, wonder is the act that returns us to love. So please join me in reading the words from Rosemary Watola Traumer, provided for extinguishing our chalice. I wish you the peace that comes when we trust ourselves to meet whatever life brings. I wish you love beyond happy endings, the kind of love that seeps into everything, no matter where the story goes. Thank you. Now is the time for announcements. Does anybody have an announcement? Come on up, Colleen.
Hi, I'm Colleen from the Fellowship Committee, and this Friday night we have a game night, so that'll be right out here in the social hall, 7 o'clock this coming Friday. Feel free to bring games from home or a snack or a friend, and we will continue to have these game nights on the last Friday of every month. So this month, it's August 30th, this coming Friday at 7.
I'm going to make an announcement about our anti-racism book club. A couple of you have already reached out to me, so thank you to you. to express interest in joining, but it is still open to everybody who wants to join. Look at how short the book is this time. And it's called Beyond Welcome, Building Communities of Love. So it's a nice tie-in to our theme today. I'm aiming to start our book club discussions the week of September 16th. I haven't decided a specific day or time yet, but it'll probably be Monday or Tuesday, depending on whether that works for everybody. So if you're interested in joining the book club, please let me know. Information is in the newsletter, or you can talk to me after service. And if you want to get a sneak peek at the book, I will leave this over here on the Joys and Concerns table. Second announcement is just that the garden is still looking beautiful. If you want to go and visit it, there might be some produce out there that you can pick, so feel free. Any announcements in Zoom? Sweet. Okay, so let's sing our closing song. It's called, what is it called? Go With a Song in Your Heart. And it's on the music is on the inside front cover of the gray hymnal. The lyrics are also up here on the slide. All right. Go with the song in your heart. Go with music in your soul. Live with the memory of a melody. Go with the song in your heart. Go with the song in your heart. Now until we meet again. The joy of music is our gift to you. Go with the song in your heart. Live with the memory of a melody. Go with the song. Go with the song. Go with the song in your heart. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Pioneer